The world economy, at least in the advanced countries in America and Europe, has remained quite weak. Unemployment is the one thing that hasn't recovered, especially in America, as quickly as certainly the Obama administration had hoped. What has recovered at an extraordinary rate is corporate profitability and cash flows. Again, as Mark mentioned, all over the world, companies have more cash on their balance sheets than ever before, at least outside the financial sector, and increasingly even within the banks. This chart, the one at the top, I think illustrates that very well. That's corporate cash flows in the US as a relation to GDP. And as you can see, cash flows have now hit an all-time record, and this is within 18 months of the deepest recession in the post-war period. So companies have cash. This is part of the rebalancing between governments are practically bankrupt all over the world, but companies are richer than ever. They have cash. Equity risk premia are very high because companies have all this cash, they have all this profits, but the markets are still not willing to give them full credit for the sustainability of those profits in the year ahead. And as a result, equity valuations are still pretty low. They're roughly at their long-term average. Now, the reason I put this chart up, which comes from the last OECD Outlook, I know I'm not talking to an audience of equity investors, but I think the reason this is very important is from a monetary policy and interest rate standpoint. There's a widespread belief, even in Wall Street and the city, the central banks all over the world are going to have to tighten monetary policy, not just because of inflation in terms of wages, which aren't going up, or even commodities, which are, but consumer prices generally aren't going up. But there's a belief that they're going to have to tighten monetary policy, even if there isn't wage and price inflation, because of their concern of permitting new financial bubbles to form.